We've been talking about those cartoons mocking the Prophet Muhammad, which were published in the French magazine Charlie Hebdo, and also, of course, the larger issue of what's emerging from the Arab Spring. And joining me now is the French writer, philosopher and public intellectual Bernard-Henri Lévy, or BHL as he's commonly known. I should say that in French, but nonetheless, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You heard that discussion I've just had. Now, I know you come down on the side of freedom of expression, so do we all. But the question is this a smart editorial choice at this moment? Do we have responsibilities, you, me, and those cartoonists?
My opinion is the following. I don't like these cartoons. I respect Quran deeply. And I don't like free offense like this. But those who feel offended must know three things. Number one, they have to appeal to law, trials. This is a way in democracy. Number two, if Charlie Hebdo or whatever newspaper makes a mistake, he's responsible of the mistake, not the state, not the embassies. Not to mix the state and the newspaper is the beginning of democracy. And number three, the right to blasphemy is a core, is a key point of freedom. This cover of Charlie Hebdo mocks a Muslim man and a rabbi. I don't like it. I don't like the blasphemy against my creed. But I know that since Voltaire, the right of blasphemy is really the nuclear core of the freedom in general. Everybody must understand that, even if we feel offended in our hearts.
I fully understand what you're saying, and I would just wonder whether we're still in a state of war. There's definitely a cultural war between Islam and the West, really.
No.
There's such a rising state of Islamophobia that the question again is, was it a wise choice?
We are not in a war between West and Muslim world. As far as I know, your country, America, and my country, France, helped a Muslim country, which is Libya, to free itself. This is not a war. We were hand in hand with the Libyan Muslim people. And I hope we will do the same in Syria. So the real war today is not between the West and the rest, as stupid Huntington said. It is inside the rest, inside Islam. The real clash is between the moderates and the fanatics. If there is a civilization war, it is inside Islam between those who accept, even if it hurts, the blasphemy, and those who want to revenge blasphemy by violence, burning an embassy or killing the great ambassador Chris Stevens.
So that leads me right into the next discussion. Of course, here we have this picture again of you and Chris Stevens and another one of your friends there in Benghazi. This war within Islam, the extremists versus those who are trying to emerge and the vast majority who want this democracy. What have these events of the last week, the killing of Chris Stevens and the violence around, done to the Arab Spring or the idea of a nascent Arab democracy, Muslim democracy?
I must say, unfortunately, alas, that one of the collateral victims of all that might be, and it breaks my heart to say that, it might be the Syrian people, the people of Syria. I know that in our chancellery, in the people of foreign policy, yes, there is a lot of people who are tempted to say they did not want to intervene anyway.
They're saying it already.
They felt pushed to do it, but now they say, come on. Is that the result of our involvement? Is that the Arab Spring? If it is that, we stop.
What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because these imbeciles, these crazy, stupid men who killed Ambassador Stevens are not the Libyan people. It is a little sect of Salafists who did not want Libya to be free. They are enemies of the freedom of the Libyan people in general. And what they intend to do is really, the enemy of the Salafists is not only America. It is not Israel. It is not the West. It is liberty. the enemy of the Salafists is freedom for their co-Muslim people. So they used this crazy, imbecile film, Innocence of Islam, as a tool, as a pretext to launch this counter-revolution in Libya.
Do you think it'll be successful?
I don't think so, because the people in Libya, I would not say that I know them, of course not, but a little. They are wise. They are wise.
You mean the current leadership and the majority of the people?
The leadership is great, and the people is wise. And they will certainly not fall in the trap set by this Salafist sect. So I don't think it is... when I saw that, Christopher Stevens, I knew him a little. I met him so many times in Benghazi, in Ashdabia, and so on. I was really heartbroken. But I know that it is not the end of the story. I'm sure of that. I'm sure that the appeal of freedom, the wish of freedom in Libya and in the Arab world is so strong that it will prevail at the end. At least I hope, but I believe.
But you do think that this could put the brake on any idea of intervention into Syria?
I'm sure that we have in the West, in America and in France, so many people who anyway did not want. I remember I was here in front of you 6 months ago, 8 months, and just after me there was the Russian ambassador in the UN. It was so clear that he was waiting for the pretext to, at the end, say, look, we are right not to block the process in the Security Council. So now he has it. So you have an objective alliance, probably, of these sectarian groups like Salafist. And these rogue states or rogue ambassadors, as the Russian one or the Chinese one, who hijack the Security Council in order to stop any intervention. You have an alliance between the two. The aim of this alliance being no freedom for the Arab world, status quo.
But doesn't it break your heart a little bit as well? Because so many have said, even the West, the US, France, Britain, those who intervened in Libya, are almost hiding behind the vetoes by the Russians and the Chinese.
Of course. I met François Hollande a few weeks ago, and this was my point. My point was, please, don't use the Russian veto as a sort of shield in order to hide our own cowardice, you know?
Cowardice.
Cowardice, yes. There is this tendency. That is true. There is Libya, the war in Libya would probably never have happened if not the courage, the boldness of Hillary Clinton and Obama and Nicolas Sarkozy. It was a very peculiar situation. And Christopher Stevens. Christopher Stevens, who was probably one of those who pushed Hillary Clinton, Robert Gates at this time, to go on the side of Mahmoud Jibril. So will this reproduce itself in Syria? I hope, but I'm not sure at all.